Hey y'all, Samantha, Sam I am, Swirls and Swags, Decor, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make a bow with one directional ribbon and it not be upside down. There is several versions, but here's my first one, okay? I did have this done the other day and I couldn't get my video I had filmed y'all upright and sideways. So anyway, we're starting all over. So I think this is a very pretty bow. And just so you know, my width of this is about 12 inches. If I pull it tight, it's a little bit longer, but when all said and done and it's fluffed, this is going to make roughly a 12 inch, and the tails from top to bottom, the length is roughly 14-ish from here to here. Okay, so now my tails itself are not. They are, you can make your tails whatever size. Let me just say it that way. Let me get started and show you. All right, so in this, you're going to want to use some wire. This is 26 gauge. You should use it when making bows, but you need to know that you can break it because it's very thin. So if you're making a jumbo bow, just be very careful that you don't over tighten and break it, or you'll be very upset. I typically use zip ties, but the method I'm going to show you, you will want either some wire or like a pipe cleaner even. And when we're done, we're going to use a zip tie because we don't want it coming apart. So this is just, I don't know, 12 inches. I'm going to set that aside. And I have my ribbon. And by the way, if y'all was with me on my shopping spree the other day, they're just like the Deco. If you know, you know. There's no difference. But I know the difference because these are used, and I know the traits. They've got scars. But they're identical. Yay. Now, I thought his was a little more than they are, so his are only 15 and some change. These were 13 plus some change. Anyway, we're all happy. Now, for our tails, whatever length you want your tails, that's what you're going to cut them. Today, I'm going to cut 2 foot, 24 inches. So when we fold it, that's going to give us a 12-inch tail, okay? So with that being said, instead of me sitting here trying to measure from tip to tip, I'm going to measure from end to 12, and I'm going to come back again, and that's going to be my 24 inches. If you don't, it doesn't have to be precise unless you're doing a precise bow, and you need them to match or be identical to one another, okay? Now, also, I should have paid more attention, but I didn't because I just went cutting. When you have an option and can be more mindful of where you're cutting, try not to cut your tree in half. So there's that. So this end has a little bit more room than that end, but we're not going to cry about it. But when you do yours, then make sure that you're a little more mindful if you have the option, and I do. I have a jumbo row, but also when we start this ribbon on our bow maker here in a minute, my tree tails come together, and see there's tree stem to tree stem. Now, if you lay it the opposite way in your bow maker, you'll have treetop to treetop. That's a personal choice. It doesn't really matter. It may not matter to you, but I'm just saying that's another thing to be mindful of if that matters to you. You may want them going a certain way. So this is our tail, which again is 24 inches. So it'll be 12 inches on each side. Now for our loops, we're going to cut 2 at 28 inches, which is 14, which will be a 7-inch. That'll give us a 7-inch loop. So when someone says it's a 14-inch loop, or yeah, 14-inch loop, it really is 7, okay? But the way we're making this today, we're going to make both loop in one. And what I mean, hang on, let me measure this out. 14 and 14 is 28. So it's going to be 14 and 14. Now this you can't get really precise. You don't have to. But, if that's... I'm going to cut just a little bit extra, just a little over 14, maybe 14 and a half. It's just because I can. And that way I know I have a little extra. So that one's at 28 total inches. And I'm going to cut one more at at that same length. That is going to be for a 2-loop bow, and then we're going to have a center, 2 loops in the center. So that gives me, actually I had more. I have 3 and then, okay, but we're going to just do 2 and 1 instead of a total of 4. This one has 2 and 2 is 4. These 3 are pretty much at the same length. You can do them all the same length. You can do them all different. It's your bow. But this one, I'm not going to do 4 loops on each side. I'm going to just do 3. Okay. So we're going to cut another one at the same length, which is 14 and 14 makes 28. So I'm just doubling it and cut it. Okay. All right, so there's our 2 28s. Yeah, 14 and 14. All right, then this one we're going to do at 24. No, I'm going to do it at 10, 20. 20, so I have a 5-inch loop on each side. Actually, I just need 1. Or did I do that for 2? I don't know. Hang on now. We don't want 20. We need 10. 10 and 10 is 20. Just saying. I'm going to go a little longer just so I have a little extra just in case. So I'm going about 11-ish, maybe, give or take. If you know the precise size of your bow or loop bows, your bow loops you want, that'll help you. Okay, so now we have our 2 loops that are the same size. We have our other loop and our tails. Now, let me grab my bow maker. This is the easy bow. A lot of people use, there's so many bow makers, y'all. I did have to stop in the other video and look it up because I'm like, I couldn't remember and I still can't. And now I'm trying to think of it. It's just the plastic piece that all it's doing is you're still using these dowels to help you hold it, or you hold it by your hand, you know, whichever way makes you happy. All right, so this was in the middle. I'm just going to double check. I'm going to fold it because that's where where that fold is. It's in half. We're going to put that in our bow maker. Now all you're going to do is scrunch it up the center to give it a little nice pleat, and we're going to lay it straight in. Now, like I said, the tails are going where the stems are facing each other, and you can flip it to be the other way. It's however you want it to be. I like this because it looks more right to me, but you do what you like because that's what matters. All right. Bow. There's a Bow Genius. There's a Bow Dabra. Bow Dabra is what a lot of people use. It's just a little plastic square. It does not have no measurements. It's just a square piece. So anyway, it bothers me when I can't think of things. Yeah, I'm bothered a lot. All right, so now these are going to be our loops, okay? And you want to take the folds in the center, because what we're going to do is we're just going to lap it over. And this is really slick ribbon, so you want to allow a little extra because it can slip out if you're not very careful. All right, so we said we were doing about, I measured it, probably should have went a little bigger, but that's about a 14, which gives me 7, but we're going to come down just a little bit. It's going to be like a 7.5 because I wasn't thinking about this being slick. I was, but it wasn't. So what you want to do is fold it where it's overlapping, and then fold it up where your loops are at the same. Hold it with this hand so you don't slide all that apart. Okay. If you'll hold your loops together at the top, then you'll know that this is your center. And if you can see, I have a little piece right here, and I have a little piece right here. Okay, I have a piece on each side. One's in between, one's on top, because you're lapping them over. So that is center enough. And so when we do that, I'm going to redo it, just refold it, and I'm going to crease it so I don't mess up and I don't underestimate my fold and it doesn't slip through. Now, also in this section, I probably need to come a little further. Okay, let me do that. I don't know, y'all, worry a little All right, so hang on. I want to make sure that I have it in the center of that fold. I have a little bit on each side of that center fold, okay, where it's overlapping. So you see where it's bent. So that overlap is going to be fine, okay. Same thing I just did. I just kind of redid it. Why? Because Samantha does that. Check, recheck, check, check. All right, so then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to scrunch it. And then you're going to flip it where that little cut piece is on the back side. You should only have nothing but the pretty on the top. And you want to make sure you place your trees going the same direction, which these are going points up. Points up, points up. Okay, now if you want to double check to make sure they're even, this is the time. Now that we have this in here, my suggestion is this is where you take your wire. You could have put your wire in there first, I didn't think. But you can put your wire in first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross this one over and this one over. Let's see. Let me make sure I get it right. I don't need both on that side, do I? Hang on. Let's do it. Let me show you over. Let me pull it out. All right. Because this does matter. Oh, gosh, I got, y'all, a moth. I had something attack. Y'all, it's always a bug. I didn't have this many bugs when I lived deep in the woods. I live in the middle of town. Okay, put your wire in. One piece going up, one piece coming down. I'm so frazzled now. All right. And then we're going to take our tail. We're going to put it right back on top. We're going to take our loops. We're going to put it right back on top. We're going to make sure that everything's still where it should be. If you fold that upwards, and be careful with these wires that's in your ribbons. Y'all, they will poke. All right. So I just want to bring them up. Make sure they're even, y'all. I'm just waiting on that moth to come flying back. And this wire, y'all, that wire is something serious. Now, I also have my measures on my Easy Bow Maker. And I'm at 6.5 and 6.5. So that is even. All right. So now pull that back out. Now you've got your wire underneath. Then you're going to cross it through your dowels or your Bodabra little pieces. And you're going to cross it over and make an X. And this is where you want to make sure you get it tight because you got that piece on the back. And so keep it. Did I cross it over? What did I do? No. I think I just went around it and didn't do nothing. Oh, this butterfly over here done got me all bothered. Well, y'all, I have untied it instead of tying it. So go through there. My little wire ends are bent. That ain't helping me. Alright, so cross them over. You want them to tie like you was doing your shoes. Well, I did. What am I doing? Holy moly. When you cross them, maybe I need to do it twice, y'all. Oh, gosh. Let's make sure we got this thing even Steven again. It's still there. Y'all, I'm sorry. So, cross your wires twice if you have to. You just want to cross them like you was your shoes so it don't come loose. That's the point. Okay, so now we're in. Fold that back under. And the reason you're tucking that under is just so it don't get in your way. Oh, gosh. Y'all, every day. Every day. All right. So if I went a little smaller on this one, it would be fine to me. But actually, I think this one is, no, it's not. I was going to say this one I think is bigger. Well, it's because I'm stretching it out. I'm going to come in a little bit just to make it a little smaller. So I'm measuring out to like 13.5 by overlapping them. Okay, I've overlapped. That's the main goal here, is you're overlapping. Okay, and then again, we're going to fold it. Keep your edges lined up so they don't get out of whack. Get your loop ends even. And then crease this end. Don't crease these bow loops right there if you don't have to. Sometimes that can keep your loop from holding up as pretty as you'd like it. When a lot of people just flatten them. Do you, but I don't do that. No, do not abuse the ribbon. All right, so we've got that folded. We're going to keep all those edges lined up, and we're going to scrunch it up again in the center. Okay, and we're going to put that right back down in our bow. And actually, they're the same exact size, which is fine. If I'd have tried to make them smaller, yeah, if I wanted them the same size, same length, I'm crossing my wires again, and that way it's folding them, it's tying them, not folding them, it's tying them tight. Okay, make sure your ribbon's laying flat and give it a good pull. Okay, now for the last loop on top, we're going to take our ribbon. This was the 12 or 10. What did I do? 10, a little over 12. I did right at 11ish. So that way, when we do fold it, you do want about an inch or so, because you're losing length because you're folding them. You're overlapping. So keep that in mind as you're cutting your ribbons to make your loops. Okay. You do want just a little bit at least on each side, because until you get this done and twisted up good, you could lose it, and therefore your bow will just go all the way it wants to go and not the way you want it to go. Okay, does that make sense? I'm tired. I'm sorry. All right, so I have that done, and again, I folded it, and I'm going to scrunch it up the center just to get all those together. Make sure, again, all your ribbon is going the same direction. Okay, and make sure that the tails are the same. When you go to fold it, I'm holding it where it's going in the dowel, and this right here, they're meeting at the same edge. So we're going to put that on top, and we're going to cross our wire again by coming through the slits of the dowel one way. Oh, y'all, it's always something. Y'all think I'm crazy. Oh. Okay, and so now cross it over. I'm going to do it tight, and I'm going to do it one more time because we don't want it to come apart, especially if you're doing a great big one. I think I just untied it, and I did. Y'all, I ain't used to really doing all this because I just whip it together. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to twist that wire in the center, mash your stack down, and then pull your wire to the back. The tighter you do this as you're making it, the better off you are. Your bow will look prettier. And I'm twisting that wire just a couple of times, and then I'm going to cut that off. But first, we want to make sure that everything is evenly laying in our bow. That does look big, but I think it's just because they're not spread out like that one. Okay. Make sure they're not sliding. See, I've got a little gap right here in my wire. That doesn't make me happy. That's why I hate this wire. It's so thin, but it should have pulled tighter, but it didn't. There's always room. I don't care if you got a zip tie or what in your hand. There is always more room to be pulled in between your wire and your zip ties to make it snug. So I'm going to try it one more time. But we are going to put a little zip tie around it. Alright, so now all your ribbon is going in the same direction. All our tree tops are coming upwards. We're going to pull this. We're going to pull that back one. We're going to pull this one down a little bit. We want our middle loop to be just that, in the middle of these two. All right, let me take my wire cutters. I'm going to cut this wire. And I'm going to throw that up in the garbage. All right, and then I'm going to take, and I'm going to roll my wire inward to the bow and mash it down so that it doesn't cut me or poke anybody else. All right, then I'm going to take my zip tie. Let me see if I got a smaller one. No, I don't. Okay, well, I do, but they're not clear. Well, I could use a black one. It don't matter. All right. So before you do your zip tie, now you don't have to do a zip tie, but especially if it's a big bow, I do suggest. All right, I do suggest. All right. Before we do this, I'm going to take my pipe cleaner that I had, and I don't know what I've done with it now. I had a nice red one right here, Now, where does things go? For the love of all. I don't even know. I had 2 white ones and a red one. And now I only have 2 white ones. Fine. Alright, so slide your pipe cleaner. If you need a long one, put you a long one. I have some 20-inch, and I did, and I don't know where it's at now. I probably shoot it away when I had the moth coming at me. So, leave your pipe cleaner laying there, and then zip this tight. And you want to pull it until it quits clicking. Okay, so it's quit clicking. Now, these are zip tie cutters. You see how that edge bevels, bends upwards? That's so it cuts off that zip tie smooth, and there's nothing there to cut you. If you use scissors or just regular wire cutters, it's going to leave a jagged point, and it will rip your hand open. All right, so before I pull this around, just for prettiness, let me show you another little trick. If you don't know, a lot of you do. Some of y'all are new. Some people are new to making bows, period. So this is a nice way. Just, we don't need a great big piece because that's so thin. So I'm just going to take a little, I don't know, about 6-ish inches, maybe 8, whatever, you know, long enough that we're going to tri-fold it. You could take a little hot glue. I don't have mine on. It's okay. And then we're going to lay this around, and we're going to bring that to the back, and we're going to tighten a knot. And this is going to create a pretty center. It's going to cover up our zip tie, our wires, and all that, okay? See how that looks? Okay. Our tree, it don't really matter what way that's going. That's just a tie to cover up all the other. Now, we are ready to fluff. Now, you do want to double knot that, okay? I'm just not going to waste time right here. But then you have your pipe cleaners, and you would at least come around and tie that, twist it once, twice, and then you're ready to fluff your bow and make a very pretty bow. Yeah, how pretty. I always feel like there's one. All right, let's see. You can make this a ginormous bow. You can make these little bitty for packages. The biggest thing is that what we've learned today is how to get your ribbon going in the same direction when it all goes in the same direction. It's a one directional ribbon. It doesn't go willy-nilly, okay? So, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, put them in the comments. Okay, now you can dovetail that. You can do it at an angle. When you've got a big pattern like that, I rather an angle. Like I said, I cut that one a little, close to the tree, but it's okay. But, if you go to dovetail it, then you're going to have a big gouge in the middle of the tree. You know what I mean? So it depends on what you like and what your pattern looks like as to what it's going to look like when you get done cutting it whichever direction you like. But I appreciate y'all joining me, and that is how to make a one-directional bow. I will be making another video with worded ribbon. Thanks for watching. Share with your friends. Everybody needs to learn. Have a great day. Thanks.